there in the afternoon on your BBC local radio station. People keep telling me how sunny it is. I haven't been out since 9:30 this morning because it's been mega busy. And this is part of the reason why. And I know you've been waiting very patiently for this. So thank you for that. And thank you for listening to the rest of the show. Here he is, my final guest. He's the man with the coat of many colours, starring in the brilliant musical Joseph at Bristol's Hippodrome this week. Former X Factor winner Joe McElderry. And he popped in earlier for a chat.
It's certainly fun. And, you know, obviously the show's massively famous. It's been around for years. So I think that in itself kind of brings in just such a lot of love, and people just want to come and have a great time and sing along to the songs.
I imagine there is people in that audience who will have been dozens, hundreds maybe, times to see the show.
Definitely. Well, the interesting thing about it, when we finish a show on a night time and stuff, if I go on Twitter afterwards, the amount of people that say, oh, you know, I seen the show 20 years ago, or I seen the show 7 years ago, or I went to London to see it when it was in the West End in 2006 or whenever it was. People just have a lot of kind of fond memories of this show, and I was really, because of that, when I was asked to be a part of it, I was really kind of apprehensive about taking on the role. Because,
were you? Yeah,
hugely, because, you know, a lot of people have become really famous for playing this role, and it's become a huge kind of part of their career that everybody's remembered. You know, you've got like Philip Schofield, Jason Donovan, Donny Osmond.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be the worst one.
Oh, what?
Well, I didn't want to shatter anyone's kind of dreams of the show. I didn't want to come into it and everyone be like, oh God, he was hopeless. So I really kind of felt the pressure, and I was like, if I take this on, I want to do it properly, and I want people to go away saying it was brilliant, you know, which I kind of do in everything that I do. I want people to go away and enjoy it, but for some reason I felt the pressure a lot more with this.
Which is quite interesting because, I mean, you've done X Factor, you've done live shows, so why would this be any different?
Well, I think, first of all, musical theatre is not my first kind of career, if that makes sense. You know, I have a whole kind of career outside of musical theatre where I do my own concerts, I release albums, and really I kind of just go on stage and I'm myself, and people come along to the shows and have a great time, and I can kind of chat to them in the audience. With this, you're playing a role, it's somebody else's music, you have a whole creative team behind the scenes that want it done a specific way, and I'd never experienced that before, you know, so I kind of was a bit like, oh my God, can I do this, you know, and I didn't want to be slated for it, you know.
Did somebody have to convince you to do this? Did you talk about it with people when you knew that you were up for the part?
Yeah, well, I had, there's been kind of conversations over the past probably about 4 years with Bill Kenwright and his company about
Who's the producer?
Yeah, he's the producer.
And the maker of a million theatre shows.
Huge in the musical theatre industry. So, and there've always kind of been conversations about us doing shows and specifically Joseph, but it was never, I could never fit it into a schedule, you know. I was either on tour at the time of the Ass, and then eventually last year they're like, right, come into the office, let's sit down and we will fit this around you, basically.
Wow.
Which I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in the office, you know, when I sang through a few of the songs and to see if it was kind of something that I would be interested in. And I remember thinking, oh my God, this is going to be a big deal. Like, can I do this, you know? But I kind of get that kind of, I call it a bit of a lurch with every job that I do. Before you do it, I still get, which I'm glad I still get. I get that kind of, oh my God, can I do this, you know? And then I kind of get
a sort of gut feeling of
And it is just the kind of apprehension of standing in front of an audience, you know, and trusting your own instincts, I suppose. But it's kind of just become something that drives us a little bit as well. Because when I get that lurch, it also makes us excited because I'm like, right, this is going to be a challenge. Let's go for it.
And you've already mentioned it, but the music in this show is fantastic. And lots of people will actually have performed this in school or like amateur productions because it's so well known, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's another great thing about it is people come with, they just want, the minute the music starts, you look out and you can see the audience just relax, like it's one of them shows where they know it, they know how it goes, they know what they're coming to see, and they can just relax and just watch it and be a part of the kind of, we call it the JoJo madness. Pretty crazy show. There's a lot of stuff goes on in it, but people, you know, I remember my school doing it. I was never in it, but I remember I was never in it.
You were not chosen to be Joseph at school.
Well, I hated singing when I was a kid. I loved watching people on stage, and I loved kind of being a part of it in a group where I could hide at the back. But in terms of standing up in front of an audience, I absolutely hated it, which is so odd. It's really odd that I ended up becoming a performer, because I genuinely, it terrified us as a kid.
And when did that change? What happened? What was that moment?
I was about 14, and I remember I had this little. I remember there was this website on, and you could get like a 7-day free trial of a free karaoke kind of an account, and you could click on karaoke tracks, and all the lyrics would come up on your computer. So me and my friend used to kind of flick between her email address and mine to get the free 7-day trial, and we'd just sit and sing on karaoke. And before I knew it, I kind of was like, all right, okay, maybe I could stand up at a karaoke bar and sing. And it kind of just slowly happened, and I was the kind of turning point was my family are huge karaoke singers. Like, everybody's got a party piece, everyone gets up.
What's yours?
Well, mine's probably.
I can feel it changes by the day.
Probably,
maybe.
Yeah, probably. I mean, and depending how many glasses of alcohol I've had. But I kind of just got up one night in front of all the family, and everyone was like, where did that come from? And they were like, sing another one? They were kind of checking if I could actually sing.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of, local performing arts stuff, went to performing arts college, and kind of just developed and got confidence, and slowly built up, obviously, going on X Factor.
So literally, Joe McElderry was made by karaoke.
Let's say that, yeah.
Let's say that. You mentioned, Joe, that some huge names have done this. Jason Donovan, Philip Schofield. And you met him the other day.
I did.
I saw a photo.
Yeah, he was basically in Nottingham, the Royal Concert Hall and the Theatre Royal are literally in the same building, just on 2 separate corridors. So he does like a Nights of Music show, and he does like kind of a celebration of all people who've been knighted in musical theatre and stuff. It's just like a tour and production, and he comes on and does like a special appearance and does obviously the Joseph thing and everything. Well, we're trying to actually make it so that I would finish my show and I was going to run to the other venue and do like a little kind of funny sketch about Joseph.
Yeah.
But we just couldn't get the time. The shows were on at the same time. We couldn't make it work. So he came on our set, we had a little picture. And I mean, obviously I've met him a few times doing This Morning and things like that.
Yeah.
But we both had the coats on.
He's such a nice fella, isn't he?
He's lovely.
Yeah.
Really nice guy. And really fun, He had the coloured coat on. Mine was the gold coat, the finale coat, because I'd just finished the show.
Yeah.
And everyone was commenting, going, well, why is yours not Technicolor? And I was like, because I had a finale costume on. It wasn't the actual Technicolor dream coat.
You were there in an anorak. So I imagine you've been to Bristol many times?
I haven't,
Yeah, have you not? Okay.
Funny, I was just saying in the car on the way here, I recorded my new album that comes out in the summer. I recorded it just on the outskirts of Bristol. I've been recording my album pretty much on my days off from this. So although I've never actually been in the centre of Bristol, I have technically been in Bristol, but only in a recording studio.
Okay.
But I had a little look around yesterday. We had a day off. What a beautiful place it is.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
We like it.
Yeah, it's lovely.
We like it, yeah. And when you're not doing the show, I mean, do you get much time off other than chatting to me? And
we get a Sunday and a Monday off, and then we start late on a Tuesday. So we kind of get like a little long weekend. And then we do 10 shows. Like from tonight, we'll do 10 until Saturday.
Yeah.
Which is quite an intense schedule, but I've kind of just gotten used to it. It just kind of happens now. But before you know it, you get to a set and you think, God, that flew by. That was really quick. And the good thing, like I said, the audiences that come to see this show are insane. Like, they're up on their feet, they're standing ovations, they're clapping along, they're singing along, they're waving their hands in the air, they're screaming. It's like a rock concert at the end. So that makes it go so much quicker as well. That having a great audience, you just bounce off them. It's great.
Yes. So you mentioned that, you dropped that in, that you're actually recording a new album.
Yes.
While you're on the road. I mean, how does that work with, just keeping your voice okay for singing?
I'm quite, as I say that, I'm quite...
It's gone, ladies and gentlemen, no more shows.
I'm quite lucky, actually, and I do say this, I don't do anything special in terms of, like, protecting my voice. I mean, I do kind of get a lot of sleep, and I exercise and things, and I try not to drink too much alcohol and things like that, but I've always been quite lucky in the sense of that my voice is quite robotic in the sense of I can kind of sing through a lot of performances and it kind of doesn't go. But when it goes, it completely goes for like 2 days. But it really, touch wood, it rarely ever happens. But it's just, you just got to listen to your voice, you know. I know when I'm feeling croaky, I know if I'm getting a bit of flu or something, and you just got to keep on top of it.
Yeah.
So recording the album, that was quite intense because obviously I was doing 10 shows and then I was going on a Sunday and a Monday and recording like 5 and 6 songs in a day.
Blimey.
Which
That's
was
a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and I did that a couple of years, when I released my classic album after doing Pop Star Opera Star, I recorded the album in a week, and we did a similar kind of thing where we recorded like 3 songs a day from Monday to Friday, and then I think I released it the next Friday. It was ridiculous. So I kind of was like, I've done it before, I can do it again. And so basically all the tracks were lined up ready to go, and I would literally go in, listen to it, record it, listen to it, record it. It was quite a quite a machine, well-oiled machine.
So do you actually get any time to yourself? And if you do, what do you do with it? Or do you feel a bit lost when you're not running at 1,000,000 miles an hour?
Yeah, I mean, I am a bit of a workaholic in the sense of that. And I think because it's difficult for me to kind of make a kind of divide between work and having a great time, because I genuinely do have a great time. And, you know, although this tour is intense and it's a lot of shows, I really kind of have a day where I think, oh my God, like, here we go again. I really have, you know, and I'm not going to lie and sit here and say that you don't have them days, because everybody has them days when you work, and sometimes you just wake up in the morning and feel a little bit rubbish and tired and think, oh, I can't wait for 5 o'clock or whenever you finish work. But I really have it with performing, because I genuinely love touring and I love standing on stage in front of an audience and having that connection with them. So it's hard for us to kind of make that difference between, right, I need to take some time off now, and then when I do, I get bored. So
do you actually live anywhere?
I have a I do have a home. No, I have a base in Newcastle, but I think if I work it out, I've probably spent maybe like 5 days of this year there.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
We're in May.
Yeah, I know. I think, yeah, I've been home 3 times this year. So, and on 2 days off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably like 5 days of this year.
You've got a lot of box sets to catch up on. A lot. Joe, brilliant to meet you, and best of luck for the run in Bristol.
Thank you.
I know you are going to have fantastic audiences.
It's going to be packed for us all week. But there's
2,000 people in there.
Yeah, there's still a few tickets left, I think, for a couple of the matinee and events this week. So if anyone wants to come down, come see the madness.
Yeah, it's a brilliant show, honestly. Joe, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Do you know, I will put money on there being standing ovations every single night at the Hippodrome this week for Joseph. And starring Joe McElderry, as you heard just there, a former X Factor winner from 2009. And now he has that enormous role in musical theatre, and his first as well. And it's an absolute biggie. Big thanks to him for coming on the show and chatting to me.